Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion, like I would say one more follow-up discussion on this upcoming lunar eclipse and solar eclipse which is going to be taking place very soon, and what could be the spiritual significance attached to it. What could be the karmic shift which all the rising signs are going to be experiencing. In this video we will have our short discussion on that. So guys, I already have a very talented astrologer, Christina, with whom I had a Zoom session on that only. But just because based on the kind of the participation and the comments and the inquiries I'm getting, I just thought we can have our like a follow-up discussion on that. And also guys, I also want to make it very clear over here, just because now we are heading very close towards this like 6 planetary conjunction. You know this thing that when it comes down to the yearly prediction videos, annual horoscope videos, I always tend to remain ahead of time. Like I was the first one who even started uploading videos for 2025 prediction way back in September or October of 2024 only. And again guys, like if some of the astrologers are like just debunking this fact that nothing is going to be happening, even I did not say that some asteroid is going to be striking Earth and the whole life is going to go away. I clearly, explicitly mentioned this thing that nature is going to be very sensitive. Along with that, it is also going to be making the world vulnerable in a form of the whole world order which is going to be getting shifted. Guys, look at it in this way, that when we talk about from a mundane point of view, Saturn's transit in the Pisces has got more to do with breaking the boundaries, and just because at the same time Jupiter is going to be in a Atichari motion, and it is also going to be forming a trine connection with the Rahu as well. So that in itself means that not only the existing hegemony is going to be getting challenged, but new alliances are going to be getting formed. And if someone is commenting that or saying that nothing is happening in the world, so either that person is hibernating or that person is still in that self quarantined from the time of the COVID. Because guys, there was that time when, you know, like the whole world and a lot of the countries were the Spanish and the Portuguese colonies. Then the whole global order and the power shifted to France, then to UK, now to US. And now the way things are happening, I was watching this parody that imagine the whole meet of like Donald Trump and Zelensky, that if it would have happened in the time of the or during the time of the Second World War, this could be a case that Zelensky, like Winston Churchill, has visited the White House to meet the Roosevelt, and it's just like that Winston Churchill is worried that Germany is dropping so many bombs to them, and the minute he entered there, like the US president, you're not thankful, you're not grateful, you did not even say thank you. Let US go and get aligned more with the Germany. Imagine how would it have impacted the world. And I guess even in 2025, this is the kind of scenario and environment which we all are going through. Even this recent address of Donald Trump in the Congress, where he has actually shown his strong conviction that Greenland in one way or another way has to be the part of the US. And all that tariff and reciprocal tariff has also even provoked China to even, you know, kind of give this kind of statement that no matter whether it's a trade war or any form of war, we are prepared for that. So guys, I cannot say anything about the other provinces, but the province where I'm living, every single day there are like news coming in about the earthquake which is getting reported in different parts of the British Columbia. And along with that guys, does this seem normal to you? Like even now senior Canadian leaders have also started urging and talking about that Canada also need to have their own nuclear arsenal, because we cannot trust US for our defense. So now if all of that seems natural to you, if you cannot connect or correlate it with all that which I mentioned for the 6 planetary conjunction, then I do not have any validation, any proof to justify that. So all what I am trying to say, that the way whole things are getting shifted, even guys, as an astrologer, I only want to talk about the planets. I only want to stick to my field. But even if I have to say that Saturn is going to be bringing some difference in the world order, it is only going to be doing that through making the countries or the head of the countries go through transition, and I owe everything, like my house bill, the food which I eat, everything to astrology. So it's just like that, I'm just doing justice to my field. And if you do not like that, I'm so sorry, because lot many people have been feeling this thing that Nipun, you're like getting too much into politics and all. But politics cannot be separated from astrology. If planets have to impact us, it will only happen through these people in power. Like the way, guys, see the power of the planets. Like even in the case of the Canadian, like Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, from there was a point when he had his popularity at very dismal low. Like it was not long to back when even he has to address the whole Canadian citizens and like to step down. He was kind of very emotional at that point of time. And now see how the whole thing transitioned in his favor, that a guy who was at the lowest of his popularity, now in just 2 months of the time, his iron stance against the bullying of Donald Trump is again winning him more popularity within the Canada. So that's what I'm saying, guys. For a normal person can be shocked, can be surprised. But if you are an astrologer or you have faith and conviction with astrology, with a cosmic judgment decision, then you have to also correlate everything, that whatever is happening above, because of that it is happening down below in our lives. So yes, guys, that was just a basic overview which I actually was feeling very overwhelmed, and I was feeling very strongly about that. I actually have to talk about that. And guys, when we talk about for this discussion, for this upcoming eclipse shift which is going to be happening place, like immediate after that, Rahu and Ketu very soon are going to be shifting signs. So guys, look at it in this way, that in whichsoever axis Rahu and Ketu are right now transiting in your chart, that simply means that the karmic knot is somehow being over there in that axis. I always say that when it comes down to the planet Saturn, see, Saturn is a planet of justice. Saturn brings very heavy duties, responsibilities, and it can slow down the prospects of that house. But when it comes down to Rahu and Ketu, they have this capacity either to completely block something, completely block the visibility or access to a certain thing, or out of nowhere give you access to something or grant you something. So that is what the power of the Rahu and Ketu is. Guys, in my case, I can assure you, the way I have experienced Rahu and Ketu, I do not know whether you will find another person with that much strong control or grip or observation done on Rahu and Ketu. Like even in my case, my moon nakshatra is Sadbhisha. Sadbhisha has been attached with the symbol as of a round empty circle. So I have experienced that, those times when irrespective of how much you are willing or the thing which you are trying to achieve is very much willing to come to you, but there is some boundaries which are restraining you, and that is what the power of the Rahu and Ketu is. And when we talk about the time of the eclipse, eclipse is the time when this axis, wheresoever that karmic grip is influencing you, it is going to be the power and intensity of that grip is going to be at its peak. And again, guys, in the next shift of Rahu and Ketu, when they are going to be, like Rahu is going to be placed in the Aquarius, Ketu is going to be placed in Leo, that is not considered as a bad placement. Like that is going to be an access which can actually grant you access to many things. But Rahu in the Pisces is a vulnerable energy. Ketu in the Virgo is a very vulnerable energy. Like the way we say this thing, that all those people who become victim, like victim of circumstances or being deluded, driven by illusion, you took some wrong decision, that is the typical trait of Rahu in the Pisces, chasing the mirage, chasing the illusion. And when we talk about Ketu in the Virgo, oh my god, it can give you diseases which will not be diagnosed. It can give you heavy debt or credit related problems. It can give you very powerful enemies and all. So all what I'm trying to say, in this rest of the part, we will be having our discussion, guys, that during this 2 weeks of the time, which specific area of your life is going to be under heavy scrutiny of the Rahu and Ketu, and what you can do in order to safeguard yourself. Guys, I even I gave this command in the in the chat GPT that what could be the spiritual significance of eclipse. Eclipses in ancient spiritual traditions. For Hinduism, eclipses are associated with the myth of Rahu and Ketu, shadow planets that consume the sun and the moon. We all know about that. For the Native American beliefs, some tribes view an eclipse as a time when the cosmic balance is disrupted, signaling a need for communal prayer and healing. Chinese tradition. Ancient Chinese believed that a celestial dragon devoured the sun or moon during an eclipse. Rituals of protection and harmony were performed to restore balance. Spiritual significance, transformation, new beginnings, shadow work, a renewal of consciousness, energetic impact of eclipses, karmic shift, portal of change. They serve as energetic gateways, accelerating life changes and spiritual awakenings, alignment with cosmic cycles. And lastly, practical spiritual guidance for eclipses. Avoid major decision, which I have been saying. Practice stillness and engage in spiritual cleansing, like rituals such as bathing in sacred water and chanting can actually help you deal with the negative influence. So okay guys, now after that we will try to briefly look at that in which specific area of life now you are going to have those last 2 weeks of the intensity of the nodal axis, which is going to be like affecting you, and how exactly you will see the shift. Now guys, just because like the exact degree of this eclipse is going to be like especially for the lunar eclipse, it is going to be the last few degrees of the Leo, but even after that the impact will be felt where Ketu is somehow placed. So I would still be giving emphasis to the nodal axis of Rahu and Ketu, because this is where life has somehow shadowed you. It has shadowed your judgment, eclipsed your judgment, and these are the last 2 weeks. Like the way I've been saying this thing in all of my like discussion, that elephant has passed and now just the small tail is left. So guys, when we talk about the like Aries Lagna natives, so guys, in your case, all what I can say is that in these 2 weeks you have to be very mindful, very careful of your finances. You do not have to get entangled into any new task which is asking you or demanding you to get money on loan from the market, or get any of the money arranged regarding which you do not have any prior expertise. And especially for the Aries Lagna natives guys, if I were to say, if you have in the last 18 months you have been out of the work, or there has been severe issues in the matters of money, handling of money, or there have been those instances where people have grouped against you behind your back. So now these 2 weeks are going to be the peak of that, and after that, like when Rahu and Ketu are done teaching you lesson, when the pain has done to teach you the lesson, the pain will leave you. So that's all what I can say for the Aries Lagna natives. Now guys, when we talk about the Taurus ascendant natives, so guys, in your case it is going to be bothering and affecting you in the matters of the 5th house and the 11th house from the past 1.5 years, and these 2 weeks are going to be the peak of its intensity of the nodal axis. So guys, look at it in this way. To be honest, if you have found any blockages in your emotional depth, or even in your artistic creative work, or any of the clarity, getting access to new ideas, like people have been accusing you that in your artistic career you have never felt and never gone through such a slowdown, such a slump in the release of the work. So now these 2 weeks are going to be the peak of that. But again guys, like the way I've been explaining this thing, that how much of the spiritual practices tend to remain rewarding at the time of the eclipse. So I would say this thing, that especially for the Taurus Lagna natives, during the time of the lunar eclipse, meditation will become very elevating for them. And guys, let's say for example, if Rahu has actually invest your money, invest your energy, your time in wrong things, in wrong people. So now these 2 weeks are gonna be giving you the peak of the experiences. The vulnerability is going to be at its peak, but after that, this whole next shift is going to be working out in your favor. Now guys, when we talk about the Gemini rising natives, so guys, in your case, like this Rahu and Ketu axis for these 2 weeks of the eclipse season is going to be impacting the matters of your 4th house and the 10th house. So guys, in all of these areas, like when we talk about any of the housing related deal, if you're actually finding yourself very anxious, so if this is what Rahu and Ketu has created kind of a trend or a pattern in your life in the past like 1.5 years, in the past like 16-18 months, so this is going to be the peak of that. But again guys, the good part for you guys is that this whole karmic shift which will happen, so let's say for example, like the way I've been saying this thing, pain will stop bothering you when it has already taught you the lesson. So the lesson which the nodal axis has been trying to teach you is all about that only, finding resonance or getting rooted and attached to something which is more deep, which is more transformative, which is more transcendental, rather than being rooted in very superficial things for your security. That is what the nodal axis is trying to teach you. And yes guys, when we talk about from the Rahu's point of view, so work politics is going to be at its peak in these 2 weeks. You have to be very mindful, you have to be very careful. But again guys, the good part is that all these are experiences like which you have been dealing with. It's very close, you are very close to having a new shift in your life's karmic axis. And along with that guys, like the way I mentioned this thing, Rahu and Ketu, wherever they are transiting, they have this capacity to completely either block things or give you access to something regarding which you did not have any clarity. So if you are falling in the out of the pros and cons, you're falling on the con side of it, that you have been blocked in majority of the career opportunities in the past 1.5 years. So these 2 weeks are going to be the most sensitive, and immediate after that you will see a major release in your life. Now guys, when we talk about for the Cancer Lagna natives, so guys, in your case, as you can see that this whole axis in these 2 weeks are going to be impacting, influencing the matters of your 3rd house and the 9th house. So let's say for example guys, during this time, beyond any doubt, you have to be very mindful of your putting your trust in people around you, the kind of people you are associating, the kind of advice which you are getting from people. Like you have to be very observant, very mindful that what place is it coming from? Is it coming from a place of biasness? Is it coming from a place of getting back to you? So whatever advice comes to you during this time, you have to take that with a pinch of salt. And again guys, like the way I've been saying this thing, that the whole objective of the Rahu Ketu axis in our life is all about where the karma somehow eclipses us, our judgment, our free flow of the energy. So all what I can say is that, and the whole dictum for this axis, that when pain has been done teaching you the lesson, it stops bothering you, it goes away. So if I were to say guys that yes, if there have been some sort of difference and like very stark difference of opinion with people around you in your circle of influence, so all of that is going to be a matter of the past. But these 2 weeks are going to be very, very intense in this department. Do not rely on any leap of faith in any important life matter. Now guys, when we talk about the Leo Lagna natives, so guys, in your case, it is going to be influencing the matters of your 2nd house and the 8th house. So guys, look at it in this way, that the 2nd house has got more to do with the finances. So if there have been some sort of issues in where you haven't been able to safeguard or save enough money, or there have been those instances where just because of your straightforwardness, it has actually turned people against you, you have been subjected to, because of your straightforwardness or truthfulness, you have been subjected to any family boycott or something. So now these 2 weeks are going to be again carrying the energy at its peak, but after that you will see a complete karmic shift. Like the way guys, the whole objective of the Rahu Ketu in the transit is that which specific area in your life is under the, or it is subjected to the karmic control, like where you're not having any free will, it has been eclipsed, it has been shadowed, and some of which is or can be attuned or attributed to your own deeds done in the past. So yes guys, all what I can say is that whatever life is trying to teach you, these 2 weeks in the matters of the finances is going to be giving you the experiences at its peak, but after that there's going to be a major relief in all these areas where your finances or joint resources are concerned. Second house is also the house of the speech as well, so chanting and like monitoring your diet, like consuming something which is very sattvic. We become what we eat, so monitoring your diet during these 2 weeks will become very important. Now guys, when we talk about the Virgo Lagna natives, so guys, in your case, this whole lunar and the solar eclipse energy is going to be influencing the matters of your first house and the seventh house. So these 2 weeks you have to be very mindful, you have to be very careful when it comes down to, or wheresoever the matters of your health or your like public image or your relationship are concerned. Along with that guys, like the way we say this thing, that Rahu and Ketu axis can be looked at as that which specific area of our life is under the control of the heavenly bodies, like where our free will is at its lowest and somehow the natural causes are actually governing our life. Like the way this could be a case that if in the past 1.5 years you kind of find yourself being blocked of certain opportunities, or in certain cases you have been accused of things which you haven't done, so in whichever capacity this whole interplay of the nodes would have worked out in your life, these 2 weeks are going to be giving you the peak of the experiences. Along with that guys, look at it in this way, that after like hosting that like lunar eclipse, after like eclipsing your moon right over there at the end of the 12th house of yours and the first house, going towards the solar eclipse, it is going to be covering your second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house and the sixth house. So that means the left half of your chart is more prone and is more vulnerable towards taking the wrong decision, taking the wrong judgment. So just be very protective regarding the matters of how you are dealing, interacting with people around you, what kind of things you are tweeting, you are commenting, you are posting on your domestic family life. So just be very mindful. Like let's say for example, if your natal moon in itself or your running dasha in itself is making you emotionally vulnerable, like very much prone towards stress and negative thinking and all, so doing the chanting, japa or any of the donation can be actually considered. And along with that guys, like the way I mentioned this thing, that the Rahu and Ketu axis can be looked at in this way, that where exactly pain is trying to teach you something, life's restriction is trying to teach you something, and once the pain has stopped or done teaching you, it will stop bothering you. So yes guys, like after the month of the May, there's a major shift which is going to be happening in your life. But these 2 weeks are going to be making you very much prone towards like where free will is going to be at its minimum and nature is going to be taking control. Now guys, when we talk about the Libra natives, so guys in your case, this whole axis of the Rahu and Ketu in these 2 weeks are going to be very powerful, strongly impacting your 12th house and the 6th house related matters. So guys, like the way I've been saying this thing, that at the time of the eclipse, the energy of Rahu and Ketu is going to be at its peak. The axis where Rahu and Ketu are there in our chart, it means that axis is somehow eclipsed. It is under some sort of shadow over where it is not letting us think clearly, see clearly, or get any even advice clearly. So guys, it is actually majorly impacting the matters of your work life, your relationship with your co-workers and the 12th house. But again guys, even for the Libra Lagna natives, only if you know how to channelize this surge of energy through meditation, through spirituality, this could be a very right way of like dealing with this energy. Along with that guys, sometimes what happen is that because 12th house also has to do with, along with spirituality, it has also to do with the bed pleasure as well. And Rahu in the 6th house can actually make us very diplomatic for our own disadvantage. So be very mindful that if during the time of the lunar eclipse suddenly you are getting attracted towards someone, or you're not able to guard that, or you're just gonna go and quote someone who is not a good fit for you. So you have to guard yourself in that situation. Or let's say, for example, if you are subjected to any of those criticism at work or severe of the office politics. So sometimes what happens is that where people like you by yourself put down the papers, you lashed out at someone, or you did something out of retaliation and all. So be very mindful not falling prey to these kind of things. If you watch these kind of videos, that in itself means that you know why certain thing is happening. Like the way guys we say this thing that if why is clear, how becomes easy. So if you know that why it is happening, so you know the what is the right way of conducting yourself, which all confrontation you have to avoid. Along with that guys, in these 2 weeks, my recommendation, any of the like credit or debt or loan related matters need to be dealt with lot of caution and care. Do not try to bring any sudden abrupt change in your daily life. Like, you know, the way we say that you have this habit of waking up in the morning, going to gym, and suddenly for these 2 weeks, some sort of pressure is not letting you do that. You're just rebelling with the life. You have so much complaints that, okay, I'm not gonna do my prayers. I'm not gonna go to the Sunday temple or Sunday church service. God has been not kind to me. I'm feeling very restless. So be very mindful for not falling prey to these kind of, you know, self-negating kind of behavior, because these 2 weeks are going to be at its peak. And yes guys, after that, this excess in a way is somehow shadowed in your life. Clear thinking is not possible, has not been possible in the past 1.5 years. So I would say that elephant has already passed. It's just the tail part which has left. So be very mindful. And yes guys, I made this video just to give this reminder that in these 2 weeks, this is the area which is going to be your stress point. How you deal with it, that becomes very important. And guys, just because it's the eclipse, right? So over where we do not have much of the free will, we do not have much of the say. So much better to surrender rather than doing something deliberately, rebelling against it and creating more problem. Now guys, when we talk about the Scorpio Lagna natives, so guys, for the Scorpio Lagna natives, the energy of the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse is going to be impacting the matters of your 5th house and the 11th house for the next 2 weeks. So guys, just be very mindful of this. We know this thing that wheresoever Rahu and Ketu are transiting, somehow their influence and their contribution can eclipse or cloud our clear thinking, our clear judgment. Saturn can still slow down or like delay things, but when it comes down to Rahu and Ketu, they can completely block things. So let's say for example, in whichever capacity in the past 1.5 years you have been encountering or dealing with this karmic excess, these 2 weeks is going to be giving you results at its peak of the intensity. Now guys, beyond any doubt, for certain people this could also be the time when you can go viral, but for certain people this could also be the time of finding yourself very anxious. Like you might be a victim of extreme negative thinking, self-loathing. So just be very mindful that, like the way this saying, very famous saying, that pain will stop bothering you when it is done teaching you lesson. So yes guys, and whatsoever in whichever capacity in the past 1.5 years it would have been creating problem for you, these 2 weeks are going to be a peak of the experience. That in itself means while dealing with your partner, while taking any important decision in the matters of your academics and all, so you have to do that with proper caution, care. And guys, 5th house also tells about the mantra chanting, the spiritual practices as well. So I would say that seeking refuge in spirituality could be the right way for the Scorpio Lagna natives. Now guys, when we talk about the Sagittarius Lagna natives, so guys, in your case, in these 2 weeks of the lunar and the solar eclipse season, it is going to be impacting the matters of your 10th house and the 4th house axis. So guys, look at it in this way, that like the way I've been saying this thing, that Rahu and Ketu's axis in the transit just tells about that where exactly our clear judgment and thinking is going to be eclipsed by the nodal axis. This could be a pattern which is coming from the past, or this could be a case that where universe wants you to be completely purified or completely cleansed. Now guys, in this kind of access, I can assure you that if you have been subjected to some extreme, sudden, unpredictable kind of developments at your work front or deep inside in the past 1.5 year, you have found yourself to be filled with lot of doubts, uncertainty, anxiety. So very soon there's going to be a end of it, but these 2 weeks are going to be making you very much prone and vulnerable towards some sudden major developments which might happen in your domestic life or which could happen at your career front as well. So what you can do is that just not deliberately coming in the way or fighting against something where you do not have much of the say, and being at guard and reinforcing your defense through chanting, through mantra practice. That's all what I can say for the Sagittarius Lagna natives. Now guys, when we talk about the Capricorn Lagna natives, so guys, in your case, as you can see that this whole nodal axis in these 2 weeks is going to be impacting the matters of your 9th house and the 3rd house. So guys, like the way we say this thing that wheresoever Rahu and Ketu in the transit are transiting, the karmic axis, like our clear thinking and judgment, tend to remain eclipsed in that area. We are subjected to the natural causes and our free will tend to remain at its lowest. So guys, in your case, just because it is the 3rd house and the 9th house, so that in itself tells about that yes, during this time, be very mindful, be very careful while associating or collaborating with someone with whom you do not have much of the previous track record. So do a proper background check. If you have to sign any document, do that very carefully. And guys, yes, this is going to be the end of it, and immediate after that you will see a complete shift. Like if it has been a pattern in your life in the past 1.5 year over where because of your own aggression you were not able to make people tiptoe to your terms, or people have accused you of trying to scare people or kind of pushing people in the wrong direction or trying to be slightly selfish. So this is going to be the end of it. You will be able to mend your terms within your social circle after the end of this solar eclipse, guys, because Rahu and Ketu have already started giving results to the next sign. It's just like that at the time of the eclipse there is going to be the final nudge which many people will experience. And the good part is that in whichever capacity life would have blocked your clear thinking or blocked some opportunities, access to opportunities to you, it will come back. So balance will be restored in the matters of the 3rd house and the 9th house, which is the house of our mental judgment and the kind of advice which comes to us. But yes, these 2 weeks are still going to be giving you results at its peak. Now guys, when we talk about the Kumbh Lagna natives, so guys, for the Kumbh Lagna natives, these 2 weeks you have to be very mindful in the matters of your finances. You have to be very mindful in the matters of your joint resources. Try not to experiment with something regarding which you do not have much of the idea. Like the way we say this thing that 8th house is the house of the secrets, and Ketu can actually make you very curious. It can actually make you very inquisitive. But sometimes what happens is that knowing less is much better. Getting your hands on too much of the information somehow becomes negating for us. So that's the first thing which I want to say. And yes guys, in the matters of the finances, in whichever capacity you have faced uncertainty in the matters of your finances, again guys, in these 2 weeks this is not a right time or a right vibration or a right energy to come to any conclusion or verify or make assumption on your balance sheet, because in these 2 weeks there's a high possibility that your mind will be driven more towards the expenses, losses, or things which you have done wrong or the way you could have done things better. So don't be a pawn of the cosmic interplay. At the time of the eclipse, clear thinking is always blocked. So all what matters is that utilize this energy for chanting and I can assure you guys, in whichever capacity, life would have been trying to teach you a lesson in the matters of the money or the joint resources. These 2 weeks could be at its peak, but immediate after that, you will feel a relaxation or a complete release over there. In whichever capacity life would have blocked you, you will definitely find a release over there. And lastly, guys, when we talk about the Pisces Lagna natives, so guys, in your case, as you can see that it is going to be impacting the matters of your first house and the seventh house. So guys, when we talk about especially the energy of the lunar eclipse, that is going to be impacting the matters, the end of the Leo in your sixth house and the seventh house Ketu. So again guys, we say this thing that the Rahu and Ketu axis even in the transit is like where our clear judgment and thinking tend to remain eclipsed because of the contribution of the planets. And sometimes what happens is that this could be a case that cosmos is trying to teach you some lesson. But one thing is for sure guys, in whichever capacity, if in the past 1.5 years you have been subjected to any uncertainty and any natural causes where your free will was at lowest and you were not like what the kind of plans you have had regarding the matters of the relationship, regarding your own self, and things happen in complete contradiction. So this might be the interplay of the karmic axis Rahu and Ketu operating over your first house and the seventh house. So guys, the takeaway for the Pisces native is that, see guys, in your case, beyond any doubt, there's a lot of the action which has happened in your 12th house, and now that whole drama is now coming back to your first house. So that in itself means that you will find yourself to be targeted. You find yourself there's a lot happening around you where people are by themselves, by default, pulling you in their drama. And this is where you do not have to become a pawn in someone else's drama. That's what I'm trying to say. And just be very mindful of your health, be very mindful of your public image. Do not associate yourself with something which is very controversial, which is very scandalous. So yes guys, this is all what I can say for all the rising signs, for all the moon signs. For further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.